Today we're going to talk about 3 pentatonic phrases to help push you into being creative on your own. So we'll learn the phrases, and they helped me to kind of navigate the fretboard a little bit better in different ways. So let's get started and I'll show you what I mean. By the way, if you're just getting started with soloing, make sure to download my free Beginner Soloist Handbook. It's full of arpeggios and scales and resources all packed into one place so that you can use it as a reference. The link is down in the description. All 3 of these phrases will be based in the E minor pentatonic, but we won't be using the standard phrase that we're all familiar with like this. Instead, we'll be using the minor diagonal pentatonic, and it looks like this. The diagonal minor pentatonic is basically a 2-3 pattern. So I start a whole step below the root, my root being E here, and I play 2 notes. And then I play 3 notes on the next string and slide up a whole step there. So it looks like this. And that's all 5 notes in your pentatonic. Everything we play after that are simply the octaves. Next octave, next octave. I had to make the adjustment for the tuning difference there, but we always have to do that with any pattern we learn. So that being said, instead of me playing the diagonal pentatonic right here, you can start it anywhere. So I'm going to start it over here behind this E. The E on the 7th fret of the 5th string. So most of the area that we're going to cover today is going to look like this. The next octave, and then the last string here. I'm also going to add the blue note to make it the blues scale, the flatted 5th, so you'll see that in our examples. Let's start with example number 1. Okay, so let's look at this slowly together. 12, 10, 12, 11, that's the flatted 5th, 10, 12 on the 3rd string, slide down to the 9th fret. So I have to pick that and make sure that I've got enough sustain left. And then 7, 9 on the 4th string, flatted 5th again on the 8th fret, 7th fret. Reach up here with my ring finger to the 10th fret of the 5th string, and I'm going to slide with that note into the 7th fret of the same string, and then 5th fret, 7 on the 6th string, flatted 5th again, 5th fret, 3rd fret, and then open. And I just ended it on the high E here. Altogether it sounds like this. And as you can hear, I'm swinging it too. I'm not playing it straight. I'm getting a nice swing to it. I'm not saying you're going to play this phrase from start to finish exactly like that when you improvise. That's not the point. The point is to teach you where some of those blue notes are, the flat 5s, and how to navigate the diagonal pentatonic in a different area here. So we do that by playing some phrases, because playing something musical that we can memorize is way more effective than just learning scales. Number 2 is a little shorter, and it sounds like this. Okay, so we begin on the 12th fret. We do a pull off to the 10th, back down to 12 on the B string there, back up to 10, back down to 12 on the 2nd string. Now we add the tension with the 11th fret blue note, down to the 10th fret. Ooh, let's add more tension, go back up to 11. I love that. And then up to 12 on the 1st string, 10 on the 1st string, back down to 12, and then 10 on the 2nd string. Now we're going to begin our descent. Do a 12 to 10 pull off, and then slide down and pick the 8th fret, and then another pull off from 10 to 8, down to 9 on the 3rd string, and then back up to 8 and end on 9. The whole thing slowly. like that phrase because to me it sounds like a creative use of the flat 5, gives it the perfect amount of tension. Number 3 here is nice because it gets you using the diagonal pentatonic, but in a creative way with lots of slides, which I love. So once again, we're playing the diagonal pentatonic a whole step behind the root, which is E on the 7th fret here of the 5th string. Let's play it slowly together here. 5 to 7 on the 5th string with a hammer, and then the same thing on the 4th string, 5 to 7 with a hammer on, and then a slide up to the 9th fret. So those 5 notes. Let's move on to the 3rd string where you're going to pick the 7th fret, hammer onto the 9th, slide up to 12, and back down to 9. So all together, and then pick the 7th fret. And then we finish it off with the 10th fret of the 2nd string down to the 8th fret of the 2nd string. The entire phrase. For me, I absolutely love that phrase because it gets me doing a lot of slides in a creative way and connecting notes inside my scales with slides as opposed to picking every single note. And I think it's important for our fingers to know how to do that on the fly so we can improvise with a lot of slides in our playing. I hope you enjoyed those 3 phrases today. I think it really will help you create something on your own. Don't play them exactly the way I did when you improvise, but I would learn them the way we tab them out. I think playing them in a musical way like that will help you memorize exactly where these flat 5s are and where it's kind of tasty to put slides and things like that. Now, if you're interested in working on your soloing more and making it sound more melodic and less scalar, I recently made a video about that very subject, and you can watch it here next.